Top of the morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Today's fluffy challenge is slam balls, okay? We're going to be working that upper body and our core. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Monica. Okay, so you're with me for Fluffy Challenge. So welcome. Okay, so today's slam ball. I like slam ball because I'm able to rechannel my anger and frustration about some things. So, I like to talk to you on the treadmill because it helps me have the treadmill go by faster because I don't like the treadmill. So in the background you see it's a lot of stuff going on in the background. They're doing some work in the gym. But anyway, I want to talk to you all about entitlement. Okay, so and how some people act in a way towards you and their entitlement shows. And sometimes when we experience people like that, we look at them like, what? Are you serious? So anyway, 2 stories of entitlement. So anyway, one of the things that I do to replace my income, or that I did to replace my income, now it's a multiple stream of income. So before I left that toxic job, remember I talked to you about how to replace your income? So some of the tips is to think about what are the skills and talents that you have at that job, and or what are some of the skills and talents you already had before you even came to that job, in terms of training, experience, whatever. So one of mine is testing. So I'm a psychologist, so I was trained in testing. Never did testing at the toxic job, but that was my prior training. So anyway, I was able to use testing to help replace my income, and now it's one of my multiple streams of income. I should have used the tripod, but anyway. So I was testing this little girl. So I test kids. I was testing this little girl, and she didn't look like us. Sweet little girl, really young. So during the break, she was eating her snack, and she started dropping food on the floor. Not a lot, but just a little bit. And so she said, "Can you pick that up for me?" And I said, "What?" She said, "Can you pick that up for me?" So I said, "No, I'm going to give you some Kleenex and you can pick it up yourself." And then that's what she said. "It's going to hurt my arm if I have to pick it up." And I said, "No, you'll be okay. You'll be okay." Right? But again, it was like, okay, entitlement started so young. I've never experienced that directly in terms of me. I don't think so. But she just was like, "Yeah, can you do that for me?" That was one. The second, I was at Pilates, and there was a young woman at the front desk, working the front desk. She really wasn't doing anything because I saw her. So she was on her phone, just sitting at the front desk, really, literally doing nothing but on her phone. So I asked her about booking some of my classes. And so her first question to me was, "Do you have the app?" And I said, "Yeah, I have the app. But I'm still right here asking you to help me do this." And you could tell she was like so outdone that I'm asking her to do some work, which is like minimal work, which is part of your job. Anyway, I want to talk to you about entitlement. It comes around in different ways. Those are light versions. At your job, you might be experiencing situations of people being entitled and talking to you some kind of way and think they can. So I'll tell you like bits and pieces about my toxic job previously, because I'm resigned. But the main bully was not white. But what was interesting was I thought she wasn't white. But when I've talked to other black women, they've had a similar experience where the person, you don't identify them as white, okay? But they identify on some level as white. So they might say in terms of their ethnicity is something else. But in terms of their race, they act like a white person. So this person, the workplace bully, I didn't see her as white, but I think she viewed herself as white. And she's from a different country where they are viewed as white. Even, no, okay, whatever, I'm not going into that. But anyway, so that was workplace bully, and she did entitlement all the time. But there was another woman who I would say the workplace bully was like the puppet master. So she was kind of controlling people. So one of the people that she controlled was a woman who really was white. And the way she would talk to me was like full out entitlement, like, oh, you didn't do that yet? You didn't do what I told you to do? Like that, right? And it just took everything in me not to be like, well, who are you talking to, right? So you might have those experiences too. For me, that would just add it up to the list of signs. That was not the place for me, okay? So you may experience that entitlement, and think about the entitlement as, do I want to be around an environment like this, okay? Okay, so I'm signing off. I'll see you later. Bye. Hey, I just finished my fluffy challenge. So remember, if you're joining with me on the fluffy challenge, the focus of today was the slam ball to the ground. And that's a really, really, really good way to get out your frustrations, anger, all those other things. And I'm wearing my Prince shirt today. And I love Prince. He's my favorite artist. If you go to Minneapolis, absolutely go to Paisley Park Studios. But I remember something Prince said in relation to competition, and it reminded me of the video that I did recently with Alicia Renice. I'm going to put that in the description section. And that video was how envy and jealousy impacts Black women in the workplace or at the job. So I'm going to include that in the description section because many of us may have experienced situations in which it appeared that another Black woman was competing against us or seeing us as a threat. And that's another example of a toxic work environment. And so something Prince said that I really appreciated and I really resonate with, he said, I don't compete with anyone. You know, no one is my competition. I am inspired by them. And so my hope is that if you see another Black woman and she's doing really well at something, that you are inspired by her. And it reminds me of my dissertation, which I talked about in the video with Alicia Renice. And my dissertation, excuse me, was about a prejudgment process in relation to social comparison jealousy among African American women. So that's the one tip I want to offer. The other thing I wanted to say was, you know, as I was slamming down the ball, you know, I was reflecting on some of the recent videos that I've done. So I talked about the one with Alicia Renice in relation to envy and jealousy among Black women in the workplace. But I was also thinking about a video that I did recently with Calvin Michaels, and I watch Calvin Michaels all the time, just like Alicia Renice and Stephanie Perry and Adelia and Rashida Dow. So it's really been a really, you know, profound experience to be able to interview people that I watch often on YouTube. So anyway, Calvin Michaels and I were talking about the impact of bullying amongst Black youth, and that really touched really close to home. I've mentioned in several videos before about how our family was really devastated when one of our sons experienced bullying, and we ended up suing the school, whole lawsuit. So after 5 years, we ended up settling. And so I just want to say to you again, if you're in a situation where your child is at a school and the school was negligent in terms of not following their so-called anti-bullying policy, you can sue them, okay? And if you choose to sue them, please go with an attorney where it's a contingency only contract where they only get paid if you get paid, okay? You don't want to come out of pocket for that, okay? So check out that video too. I thought that was really good. So as I was slamming down the ball today, I was reflecting on those videos that I've recently done and those experiences. So bullying, you know, in terms of Black youth, getting that out of my body. We have to get those toxins out of our body because it's not healthy for us to hold that in, because when we hold in anger, sometimes it can turn into depression, and so we want to release that, okay? So that's the one thing I want to talk about. And then yesterday I did a really good video with Dr. CK and Dr. Roche, who were my first business coaches to Black women. And I was just thinking as I was talking to them, just the full circle moment to be able to interview them after they were both very instrumental in me being able to leave that toxic job. So I knew that I had to invest in myself. I knew I needed help to figure out how to get out because I didn't know. I didn't know what to do. And I was in the middle, you know, trying to fight and all this other stuff. And at the same time dealing with what was going on in my family and that bullying situation and suing that school and all that kind of stuff. So it was a lot going on right in that time. And I knew I needed help. So I reached out to business coaches. And so that might be something that you might want to do. I will put Anne-Marie Archer, the anti-HR lady, her Black Women Coaches Directory in the description section as well. But something I want to say is that sometimes if you know you need help, you're going to have to pay, right? You're going to have to invest in getting people to help you, okay? And sometimes what I've experienced is that sometimes we don't want to invest in ourselves, right? So we will waste money on frivolous things or waste money or pay a lot of money to other people. But when it comes to paying someone who looks like us, there's an issue with that. So I've learned a lot of lessons in this process in terms of working for myself. I've had people who still owe me money, but you know, it wasn't that much money, but lessons learned. And because of that, I'm a lot more business minded. So I don't give away things for free, except for talking on YouTube. I do give that away for free, okay? So I'm very mindful of what I give away for free in terms of services and ways to help people. And I invite you to think about that for yourself too. And so as you're thinking about pivoting to something different, and you're thinking about, as Dr. Roche talked about, your talents and your gifts, how you can start replacing your income with those talents and gifts, don't give away your services. Don't give away things that you can get paid for, because that's something that you can replace your income with, okay? So people might try to test you. They might try to kind of pump you for information, or, oh, can we go out to lunch? But they're really trying to pump you for information, or they try to tell you their life story about why they can't afford your services. And, you know, I have empathy for them, but also they cannot work with me, okay? There are certain things that I can provide them in terms of YouTube or other free resources, but in terms of my time and my labor, you're gonna have to pay for that. And so I think sometimes for us as Black people, we've gone through so much in relation to labor and money and all these other kind of things that sometimes that sense of being familiar with one another, sometimes we are expecting some type of hookup or, you know, look out for a sister or something like that. And I try as much as I can. I'm sure other people try to look out for each other. But it comes to a certain point where you have to invest in yourself and you have to pay for services. So as Black people, let us invest in one another. Let us pay one another, because again, I see how we waste money on so much stuff, many times that we don't even need. Or if we need it, we will pay big money to people who don't look like us, okay? So let us invest in ourselves, support one another, and we will provide each other quality services. So that is investing in us and investing in our community, okay? So I want to just say that briefly because we can't always do the hookup, the homie hookup, okay? Sometimes you have to invest in services. And so, you know, again, I'm trying to give as much as I can, but please don't contact me and ask me for like trying to pump me for information and trying to take me out to lunch. And, you know, I have some people who are from my former job and I could tell they're trying to get information from me about how to help them. And I would definitely help you, but you're gonna have to pay me for my service, okay? Okay, so anyway, I'm signing off. So remember, Fluffy Challenge, okay? Ball slam, get out that aggression. And I also wanna say, give this video a thumbs up. Okay, remember, give this video a thumbs up and share this video with other Black women who might benefit from this information. And if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Lifting as we climb, consulting, wellness services. And one more bonus, if you have not already gotten your ticket to the Get Your Money Right, so you can leave that toxic job. This is a financial masterclass for Black women. If you have not gotten your ticket, get your ticket, okay? So the early registration ends tomorrow, November 1st. And if you miss early registration, that's fine. You can still get your ticket. If you're in the future and you missed the whole live of the masterclass, you can get the replay and that will be in the description section also, okay? So get your money right so you can get that toxic job. And remember, you have to invest in yourself, right? Sometimes you get stuck, you need help, invest in yourself, pay other Black people for services, okay? Okay, signing off, take care, bye-bye.